you guys don't know, it's January. And when it comes to January, not much really happens in January when it comes to YouTubing or anime and stuff. So most of the times, people don't upload much. They upload like 2 or 3 times a week and pretty much go off their day. And for some reason, view counts are even lower than usual. I mean, this is pretty much a dead channel as it already is, but still, um, I digress. But in good news, Arifureta is finally back. Back with episode 12. And oh boy, this one cuts deep. Real deep. I mean, the self reflections. It's always one of the hardest trials. It's humans who never really face their ugly selves up front. We always look away or deny it all the time, as if we're perfect beings until someone confronts us about it. Then we just don't want to hear it, or we tear up inside. It's always one or the other. But seeing it happen with Nagumo itself was the most interesting, and the one I was looking forward to the most was with Nagumo. And seeing his alternate side, his reflection, was pretty cool. You know, when you play a fighting game, like one of those 2D fight games like Blaze Blue or Guilty Gear, and you play like different color versions of the character, that's pretty much what it felt like to me. You're playing the nega version of themselves, or anything. All the things negative about the person comes out in physical formation, and it's always an intriguing thing. The best ones that usually do it is ones that don't talk, but show it through reflections, through designs and actions instead of words. But I guess they had to do words since this is technically based off a light novel. Now, with Nagumo's self reflection, it's him confronting whether he is a monster or not. And does he really have a place to go home to? You know, the entire time his goal was to go home and stop anyone who gets in his way, no matter who they may be. And his conviction was strong. Everyone sees him as a dude who knows what to do no matter what. Strong resolve, absolute conviction. That's the kind of guy Nagumo is. But deep down inside, even he has his worries. You know, his relationship with Yui was also a surprising one. Before I get into that one, let's continue with the home thing. As you know, in Japan, the way Japan is a very polite, civil society. One of the most civil societies in today's modern world. And with that, the way Nagumo is really be accepted when you think about it. I mean, the way he is, his arm, his powers, his aggressiveness, even with his companions that he gained along the way, you know, Shia, Yui, and all of them, they're not human. So will they themselves be confronted by the world as well? You think you can just go there and the government's gonna like, hey, we got some weirdies over here. Let's just leave them alone. No, that's not going to happen. They're going to be curious. They're going to want to ask tons of questions and even probably contain them. When you think about this realistically, I think Nagumo only used his excuse as going home as something he clings to while he was at the bottom of the abyss. The abyss changed him, as we all know, where he felt lonely and abandoned by everything and everyone. So when he found Yui as the clone Zed, that you saw her as a backup. Yes, maybe he does love her, but he clings to her for dependency in a way. Because no matter what he becomes, Yui is the one that accepts him for who he is, no matter what happens. They're both in that abyss together. They came out of that abyss together. So Yui saw Nagumo change into the heartless, destructive man that he is today. And she completely accepts that, no matter what happens, but she does try her best every now and then to give him some humanity with some turns here and there. But what about everyone else? What about his family, his other classmates, his other people that he goes back to at home? Will they accept him for the new him? There's no way he can go back to who he was before. I don't think he ever wanted to go back to who he was before. Who he was before was someone else always bullied and everyone looked down upon. To the point that, despite how hard he tried to help people in the first episode, he was still betrayed. And he fell into that abyss. Now here he is as the man he is today. So there's that. And of course, the thing with Yui, of how him just relying on her because she's the only one that truly knows who he is now and fully accepts him for who he is, you know? Like, you have people who knew the old Nagumo and people who only knows the new Nagumo. Yui knew him when he was in that stage of progressing into a new person. So, some of the old and some of the new at the end of the day. So, he's one he feels more comfortable with than anybody else. But Nagumo realizes that he has to move forward no matter what, even though he says it's a lie or just a depiction of being dependent. No matter what happens, he has to keep going, no matter the typical main character kind of thing. He hasn't truly accepted anything, but it doesn't mean he has to right now. And plus, he kind of pulled a Kampachi Zaraki on him by saying, "So you were based off information of me an hour ago, so I just have to get stronger than I was an hour ago." That's exactly what Kampachi did during the beginning of the Thousand Year Blood War, where one of the Quincy's changed into him and said he's just as strong as he is. So Kabaji said, well, all I had to do was get stronger than who I was right then and there. Simple as that. So he used a very big muscle brain tactic to overcome his negative form, which was pretty intriguing. Now with Shizuku. Shizuku, a girl who's been going through some serious emotional conflict for these past couple of episodes. Shizuku definitely was not going to pass this one. You know, I think it was not meant for her to truly pass it because what she wants. If you haven't noticed throughout the entire series, Shizuku is someone that everyone always depends on. She's the go-to girl. Everyone depends on Shizuku. You know, she's so reliable, and because of that, and plus, people sometimes don't see her as a girl for some reason. Like, dude, I see more tomboyish girls in anime and manga throughout my lifespan, and they looked more boyish than she did. And some people couldn't tell that she was a girl or not. But yeah, sometimes kids, mainly growing up, will say things off their mind and blurt it out, saying, "Oh, you look like a boy," or "That's what some not only boys do when a girl is doing something." You even see it in movies and TV shows back in the day. A girl is trying to do something, want to hang out with the boys. Boys are being mean about it, or the girl is hanging out with other girls when she does something that the other girls don't agree with. He says, "Oh, that's kind of boyish and stuff." So it comes from all sides, from boys and girls, at the end of the day. And she herself, even now in this world, she's trying to help out the classmates and even Koki, who's supposed to be the hero himself, to stand up and be the leader he's supposed to be. But he's struggling with that. So she's, in a way, kind of having some stress, but she throws it aside because it's something she's used to having. But no one there to confront her. She's always helping other people, but no one's ever truly helping her out and stuff, which is interesting. And her being around Koki didn't make things any better because Koki was someone that a lot of girls liked, but he had that main character energy where he's a nice, upstanding guy as well, and all the girls admired him, but he was too oblivious and realize anyone's feelings because he suffers from main character syndrome. And unfortunately, that's just how it is sometimes in life, you know? And now, because of that, it kind of attacked her for it. So she didn't really have that many friends. So Corey was her only true friend at the end of the day until she got into this new world. So having Nagumo, someone who also was used to be dependent on her, now being his own self-reliant kind of guy, is a giant wake up call, something she never saw before. Like, wow, this dude can get stuff done. It's what's going on in her mind. And he even saved her a couple of times. So she's like, yeah, man, I like this guy now. You know, he's so nice to have someone on my team who can actually be reliable for once. You know, it's nice to have. And because of that, she starts to slowly fall in love with the dude, but she doesn't want to admit it because her best friend. And usually this is a big trope when it comes to harem anime. There's always those two chicks that are best friends and they both end up falling in love with the same guy and stuff like that. And a lot of authors don't know how to deal with it, is all I'm saying. They don't know how to write themselves out of it. It's funny, like you don't know how to write yourself out of it. Why write yourself into it? Are you doing it just for the sake of a trope? Or do you actually have an idea of what you're going to go with this? But either way, it was kind of annoying. So at the end, I wasn't really expecting her to overcome this one because I don't think it was meant for her to do so. Nagumo showing up, helping her at the very end, made a lot of sense in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, that's what she wanted. You know, she's always used to saving herself. She's always used to saving other people. So for Nagumo to come up and save her, a breath of fresh air for her. I think she wants more of it. You know, sometimes some people, not just chicks, want someone else to to take on the load as well. Not just them. And it's nice to have sometimes. So either way, I'm glad the show's back. But to be honest, I'm bored. Besides the shows I'm trying to watch and manga I'm trying to read so I can do videos about it, it's going to take a while. So that's why I'm glad it's back. So I can have something that's more weekly I can talk about. So that being said, I'll end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. This has the Madcrownxox on Anime. Signing out.